the two topics that I'm going to discuss at this event, and they are two of the biggest, probably of the top 5 or 6 in the industry, and that is of growing, their loan balance and pawn balance and service charges, as well as growing your retail sales. And those are two big things that are a challenge in this industry right now. We're seeing a lot of lagging retail sales and people saying that, the loan balance is decreasing simply because they think that, number one, millennials don't loan, and number two, there's less and less items that are of value out there. And so we want to educate you that that's not necessarily the case. But before we do that, I want to talk to you about my background a little bit. I'm the founder of Devoted Pawn Consulting, and I really got into the pawn business, over a decade ago by mistake. I got into it while I was in the corporate world, and I was doing, for lack of a better term, merger and acquisition. I was working for some guys that had an investment firm that really wanted to diversify their payday loan stores and things that they had. And while I was working for them on the side, they said, come in and help me, make these businesses more successful and more profitable. And so we did that. I came in and I did that, and I helped them. And we would acquire these stores and we would flip them just like you would flip a house. And we were incredibly successful at that. And so I got hooked. I really got hooked on that and turned it into a full-time venture. And so I started my own business and have never looked back. And as it pertains to, the conversation that we're going to be having and the training that we're going to do on site, we've created and trademarked a process called the pawn process. And maybe it should have a sexier name, but in reality, it's everything that you need to do within your 4 walls from an operational standpoint to allow your business to grow. And our average client right now in this environment and in this marketplace sees increases of 30% or more in loan balances and service charges because of that, and retail sales. And people are saying that retail sales are dead. We disagree in that we think that there's always going to be brick and mortar in this industry simply because of, the fact that we loan out of our brick and mortar locations. So I believe we have a leg up on all the other retail stuff that's out there. In addition to that, you're going to get to hear, obviously, from Pawn Master online sales and how that ties into your business. So we think that this is a great deal. We've always attended many, many events every year, and we get to, as Steve said, we get to as many as possible, just like him. We typically attend 3 major ones every year and then a couple regional. We're at Midwest every year, and we'll be again this year, as well as Kappa and, the big expo at NPA in Las Vegas. And so, we try to do more. We've been at Dixie. We'd like to get back down there because that seems to be a pretty good show. But we are and do have time constraints as well as we continue to grow our business. And we have cycles just like the pawnbrokers do. So we are very well versed on how these events go, and that's why we really decided to put ours together in this format. And so how did this event come to be? The quickest and easiest thing to say is, honestly, I've had clients begging us to do it for 5 or 6 years. And that's the God's honest truth. I didn't really think that, 5 or 6 years ago that I had the support or even the experience to do it. And now I feel like we're surrounded by all stars, not only on my team, but also these other organizers and speakers that are here. I think, the people that are on this call and doing this webinar are second to none in the industry. And so I feel like we are ready to do that. People constantly said they want something new and something fresh. They get tired of maybe seeing some of the same presenters or the same presentations. If they go to Midwest, they might see it at Midwest and see it again in Las Vegas, or they have to pick and choose between who they want to see because of the different breakout sessions being at the same time. We're not going to do that. The other reason that I decided to do it is I've been on the other side of it. I've been a vendor and I've paid a ton of money to come to these conventions, and trying to sell your services to somebody that doesn't really want to see you, doesn't really want to come in there unless they're really looking for your services in particular, is challenging on both ends of it. But I can see the angst in the face of the pawnbrokers. They don't want to be sold to. They just want someone to help them. And that's really the biggest reason that this event came to be, because we're a huge fan of bringing education on topics like wealth management, like compliance, that just does not exist out there at all in different settings, and even honestly how to prepare your business for sale. So, how do I think this event will help the industry? Honestly, I think it's going to bring solutions that don't exist. And there's going to be more stuff when we do it again next year. There's another huge void in this industry, which I believe is the tax business and the CPA side of it. But we want to bring solutions to the industry that are not readily available right now, such as wealth management, retirement planning, benefits. Benefits is a huge one. Who offers benefits in this industry? It just doesn't exist. We want it to be pure education with no strings attached. You're not going to get high pressure sold. You're going to come and learn. We'll probably smoke a few cigars together with you, and we're going to have some fun down there in Florida. The place, really is going to be about education, collaboration, and networking. That's kind of been our coined phrase. And we are going to, and our goal is going to be to allow pawnbrokers to enjoy life more now and as they get ready and near retirement. And that's really where we're at. And so, that brings a kind of a close to our presentation today.